I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to react to that. It was absolute madness in Sharjah. We've seen some great innings. We saw a match that looked as if it was done and dusted. Punjab would have been celebrating. The Bhangra would have been out. Suddenly, from nowhere, came a man who looked moments earlier as if he couldn't bat. We were questioning him and how the game turned around with 5 sixes in 1 over. There are plenty of talking points. Let's just catch our breaths and remind you of the picture that happened so far. The highest run chase successful in IPL history. Rajasthan versus Punjab, 223 for 2 after they were put into bat by Steve Smith. We thought it was a decision that would backfire, and it was a wonderful start. But when Steve Smith departed and then Sanju Samson after brilliant innings went, we said, well, good effort, pat on the back, but it's not going to happen. It's too much out of reach. It wasn't. 226 for 6 despite a couple of hiccups to just make it more interesting at the end. Finally, as I said, we needed to catch our breaths. Hopefully, Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle will also have caught their breaths. Harsha, try and explain that cricket match.
A lot of channels pay a lot of people a lot of money to enact reality shows. Send them all home. This is a proper unscripted reality show. And if anybody told you they knew what the end was, they're either lying or they're drunk or they don't know what they're talking about. Because this game was there with Samson and Smith, was gone with Tewatia. And then he's like one of those toys, you have to wind up the toy, but you can't find the key. You're running around and then suddenly one key fits and boom, suddenly this game was different. And I'm going to throw Joy Bhattacharjya a challenge. He can turn around, look for as many books in that bookcase behind and find one to match the thrills of this game. Oh, sensational game of cricket. Sensational game of cricket.
No, absolutely. In fact, Harsha, I was just thinking there are only 2 things that I was thinking about with regard to books and literature when I saw this. One was definitely Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde. So Mr Hyde was batting, Dr. Jekyll was batting for a while and suddenly Mr Hyde came. And the other, I think, is a more contemporary reference because a lot of our viewers are young people. Look at that. He was 14 of 21. That means he was striking at 66%. And then he ends up at, the last few balls, he just completely changes that round. And that's an incredible thing. The only other analogy I can think of is Bruce Banner, when he's under a lot of tension, becomes the Incredible Hulk. And I'm talking about Unbreakable Hulk because, language is failing me at this point in time. I have rarely seen a cricket match like this. It is an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, 14 of 21. After that, it was 39 of the next 10 balls. It only the Hulk.
That is polite. That is polite to him because he was 8 of 19. He then hit a 6. He was 8 of 19, then 53 of 31. And that strike rate of 171. If you had told him, listen, you're going to end with a strike rate of 171, you would say, जी हमारे राजस्थान में ना बड़े लोगों ने बड़ी-बड़ी चीजें की है, लेकिन थोड़ा कम करके बोलना मुझे थोड़ा. Wow, something else. What this is going to do though, is it's going to, even if momentarily, take away from the brilliance of Steve Smith. When you see Steve Smith batting like that, and the artist, I don't think he needs to carry a bat to a cricket ground. Sanju Samson will just carry a blank canvas and paintbrushes and he'll do what he wants. Nobody hits a ball better, more pleasantly, more beautifully. Might have been just plucking a sitar. Unbelievable. What a player Sanju Samson is. If he continues playing like this and India don't have room for him, then India must be the greatest ever team in history.
Yeah, 85 of 42. We talked about Shubman Gill yesterday, how he didn't put a foot wrong. But Sanju Samson, artistry of a different kind. Very straight is Shubman Gill. But as you said, artistry is the perfect way to describe that. But it's sort of, for all of us on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live, an I told you so moment. Because if you take us back to the show at the start of the game, we said, who's going to be our My 11 Circle Trump player? It's Rahul Tewatia. Not because he's going to take you some wickets. Sharjah is not a place to get wickets. But because he's likely to score some runs, or we hope he scores some runs. He did. For a while we thought, well, it was a wrong pick, but I think it was justified in the end. But honestly, somebody in that dugout obviously knew what they were doing when they sent him out, because we must all confess we were questioning it.
No, just not just that. What's the great thing about this match is, one is you're always doubting yourself. You're always thinking of something, and moment you think of something, something's proving you wrong. Secondly, there were marvelous performances on both sides. I mean, suddenly Mayank Agarwal's innings seems, 7 days before. That incredible effort by Nicholas Puran that happened just 8 overs before in the field, we've forgotten about it. Sheldon Cottrell, I mean, we were remembering him for that incredible save in the boundary, and then he goes and gets hit for 30 in his last over. So that's the other incredible thing about this match. There's so many incidents that's happened that that should have been memorable for this match, have you just completely losing sight of them because there's so many other memorable things replacing them.
Could not agree more. Could not agree more that it was like a buffet that you wish never ended. And I mean, there was one great dish after the other, which if you had only that to eat, you would have thought you were blessed. And yet the next dish came along, and then the next dish came along. And Joy is absolutely right. This game would have been remembered for Nicholas Puran's save. It would have been remembered for Mayank Agarwal's 100. It would have been remembered for Sanju Samson's innings, for Tewatia. Oh, I'm just trying to count the number of sixes. That might have been the difference between the two sides. The Kings 11 hit 11. And I'm just looking down the Royals, 7 into 9 and 7, 16 and 18?
18 sixes, I think. 18 of them.
18. I mean, before you could write one, there was another coming. So, what a game, man. What a game.
The sixes. But just let me take you back to the Punjab innings. And we talked about it briefly in the mid-show. But now in context of the fact that they've lost the game, those overs 16, 17 and 18 before the resurgence came from Maxwell at the end actually cost them what should have been a 240 total.
Could well be. Yeah, Puran. Don't forget, Puran was one who got those big runs at the end. Even Maxwell, he was 2080 at one point, Maxwell, until he conceded 20 in his third. Can you imagine 2080 is almost a winning spell in 11 over runs and over run chase. Yeah, my only concern, if I only have to say, maybe there was a touch extra salt in the cooking today, was that sixes were becoming default options. That's my only option. But if it can give you a spectacle like this, and if it's the same for both sides, the same thing, isn't it? Same for both sides. Some matches are bat versus ball, and they're brilliant. Today was bat versus bat, but what drama?
Yeah, I think the drama is what you take any day of the week. We often go to those phrases, batsman's game, bowler's graveyard, etc., etc. But if it can provide the drama, if you can provide the uncertainty, then it certainly takes skill to do what was out on show. And as Harsha rightly put it, what we saw from, say, Sanju Samson was skill and artistry on display. It wasn't just bludgeoning.
No, just think about it. I mean, Kings 11 Punjab are a wonderful team. They have played beautiful cricket for 3 matches, been in a position to win all 3 matches, and are looking at 1 and 2. They've just won 1 match and lost 2 matches. And you have to say that other than the fact that they don't have perhaps greatest of bowlers to close innings, they played brilliantly. I mean, it's just that they couldn't finish it on both days. And so a team that has really done exceptionally is one down in this thing. And I'm just hoping that the team now has the resilience and ability to accept, we had 2 bad days, we are a good team, let's move on. We should make a serious run this IPL, because I love the look of this Punjab team.
Their bad days better than some good days for some other sides. So you're absolutely right. But we did say at the start, didn't we, that maybe Rajasthan are a batsman short, and that narrative was correct till the 17th over. That they were indeed a batsman short. It's just that someone wound Tewatia up and found the key just in time. The other was, we said Kings have gone exactly the other way and might be a bowler short, and they were a bowler short.
They were a bowler short, but Harsha, there was one other important thing that happened, which is for the Rajasthan victory. You did not tweet that Rahul Tewatia is batting beautifully. I think that saved them, because...
Okay, I since everyone's talking about it, quiet everybody. Stop laughing. I can hear all the producers, everybody laughing in my ear. We do not control matches, but it's just that sometimes these things happen. The only way Rajasthan Royals could have won it was if I had tweeted that Tewatia is losing them the game. And exactly, I said, this game is wide open. You see, you must look at my tweets at the end of the game. I said, this game is wide open. Steve Smith got out. Everyone started laughing at me. What I meant was that Tewatia was going to come in the 18th and 19th over and change the game. That's what I meant. And then, of course, I said Tewatia seems to be losing the game, which was my way of telling Rajasthan, look, I think you need to be in the game.
Yeah, that I just mentioned to that. I mean,
when I saw the fourth... last word, I won't speak a word after this. My only defense is Simon Dool, Tommy Bangwa, Kevin Peterson, all of them used far stronger language than I did and were far more surprised than I was. So, okay, Joy, all yours.
Yeah, let's add Sean Pollock to the mix as well, because he was also on our group and he was mentioning, who is this guy? Does he hit the ball hard in domestic cricket? What's going on here? And then finally he concluded with, okay, I can see what's happening, and I can see. But
Joy, we were friends.
This IPL makes just incredible. You're exactly right. I'm just listening to all the commentators, and these are all good commentators, great readers of the game. Look, thinking about what they've said, and about 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, the carnage that happened on the field. It is in many ways an incredibly humbling game. It is such an incredible performance. And then, Jofra comes in and as if it's, pressureless, nerveless, starts hitting sixes as well.
As Jofra, last game also he hit 4 sixes, right?
4 sixes.
Now is it 2?
6.
Are those his only boundary scoring shots? He's not hit a 4, I think.
No.
Yeah. Somebody's going to pull out a tweet from before Jofra Archer was born, tweeting in the name of Jofra Archer to make sense of this.
But yeah, Harsha's power is very much evident. I mean, to the extent that when he hit his 4th 6, I just asked a question. I didn't know. I said, Harsha, I'm not on your Twitter timeline. Did you say something? Did you say something? So it goes like that. But even if it was not for the tweet, we do have to also award you the My 11th Circle Badge of Honor because of the magic year of 1971.
This is like telling your son, give me all your dark chocolate, give me all your mousse, give it away, go stand in a corner, and in return, here is a 10 paisa coin.
Harsha, it's a much.
I will get my own back. I will get my own back. Who won yesterday when the cat was away, the mice were running?
But Harsha, you won. You've got your own back.
Correct. So now the cat is back and you are the mice?
Correct. I'm expecting. People, this is the live show. Don't worry.
I've worked with these two for over 20 years. I never thought they'll come at me like this.
We haven't come at you. We've just given you the badge of honor, Harsha. 71, 69 was the power play score, which, by the way, in cricketing terms, was the highest for this tournament. Wonderfully done by Rajasthan. They went a little downhill from then uphill again. Crazy game, absolutely crazy game. And the reason we are going nuts, laughing, wondering who to blame and who to credit, because we don't really know at the moment. We honestly don't know at the moment. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go next. Can somebody please remind me? There we go. Yes. Boost stamina meter. It's so good to have a producer. Oh dear. Otherwise we'd go absolutely nuts. Boost stamina meter. Even though, it really, today's boost stamina meter should go to everybody watching the game, because you had to have stamina to last for that time and have a voice left. But let's talk about Mayank Agarwal. 105 of 50 balls, was at the crease till the 17th over. Batting rating 99 in today's matches. And lots of running for himself and his partner. Remember, KL Rahul was at the other end, his good mate. And I think, excuse me, stamina was it's just finally, I've lost the stamina. Gentlemen, take over while I cough.
If your words are bitter quoted and you're making fun of elder friends, that will happen to you. But listen, here's something interesting. Rahul Tewatia says that was the worst 20 balls I've ever played in my life. And he said, I was sent out to hit the leg spinner. Unfortunately, I hit the other bowler.
He's honest.
No, I didn't hit him. He said, unfortunately, I didn't hit him, but I could hit the other bowler. So he said everyone, everyone was curious about what was happening.
It's a crazy game, but at least let's finish off on the boost stamina meter. Since it is nominated as Mayank Agarwal, let's follow the script at some point in time. Since that script was crazy in Sharjah. Did we really make fun of Harsha, by the way, Joy?
No, we didn't, but
boost stamina meter.
Joy, it's your turn now.
Okay, no, seriously. Okay, he did really mind the way he was playing, and I think most importantly is it's about the amount of fitness, because 52 runs, that means 5 overs of singles. You just literally ran 4.5 overs of singles. That's a tough thing, in a match like this, under these circumstances, under the temperatures that the games are being played. 43, you said. The amount of stamina he required to keep hitting the ball to the 17th, 18th over was fantastic. And after that, I think what was boost stamina meter does not just measure you for your batting. So it also takes your fielding efforts, how many you've saved in the field. And he was exceptional in the field today. In a field of a lot of good boundary riders from Punjab, from Cottrell to Puran, he was exceptional as well. So, yeah, no doubt about it. He's definitely done enough to earn this.
Yeah, not quite that Puran effort, but the second best effort of the fielding came from Mayank Agarwal when he dived, almost lost the ball, kept it in. A couple of runs there would have been very valuable. But yes, to just finish off on Harsha's analogy of 4 by 100 versus a 400-meter race, it was a 4 by 100 where he held the baton for 300 meters and then passed it to Nicholas Puran.
No, absolutely.
I thought Cottrell's fielding effort was brilliant too. The one where Cottrell dived and pushed it back, that was sensational.
No, also, if you're looking at the fielding efforts, I think Punjab was sensational in the field today. And when Punjab goes back in the game, I think this is one of the things that, you notice this in games, close finishes like this, good coaches, good teams, they'll be very quiet during this. They'll just go back and say, we did a terrific job today. Someday the result is not just yours. Because there's very little that they did wrong. Maybe Cottrell will look at that over and wonder what length he was bowling. But by the third ball, you tend to lose it. Then the over is over so fast, you don't. And those 2-3 overs, they just were blitzed, as they say, But otherwise, I think this Punjab team is an excellent team.
Yeah, we saw Jonty Rhodes. I mean, it doesn't get better than that to have a fielding coach like Jonty. He was out of his chair half the time. We saw his reaction when Puran fielded. There was a Cottrell fielding effort, Mayank Agarwal. It's just a pity that they had to finish on the runner-up side, because it was one of those games you really didn't want to find a loser. Took us a while to actually compile our My 11 Circle Ultimate Team of the Day. Rahul Tewatia just pushed the door down. He wasn't in that team. But right at the end, we had to rewrite the script and put him in there, and how things changed. Mayank Agarwal, captain. I mean, that was a must. You had Puran contributing, KL Rahul, of course. Sanju Samson had to be your vice-captain. What a team that was. Plenty of points to be scored today. And I think somebody's going to have a very, very serious score. Our My 11 Circle champion of the day. Well, actually, surprisingly, not a huge score. 280, Salahuddin from Kolkata in West Bengal. I was expecting 500 plus, but you never know. It was just so competitive.
No, absolutely. I did too. I was expecting higher score. The other interesting notice, in that My Circle 11, the champion team, there were 7 Punjab players and only 4 Rajasthan players. So it has been a strange game. So many Punjab players came to the party with the bat and with the ball. And yet, when you see the result, it's a win for Rajasthan. So it's incredible. This is one of those cricket matches which you look at the scoreboard and you really wouldn't know what had happened.
And you look at that team again, and you'll find that it was such a batsman-dominated game that Sheldon Cottrell 3-0-52-1 made the team. That, if anything tells you that the bowlers are going to hide into nothing, it is that. Sheldon Cottrell 3-0-52 is in that side. So is Murugan Ashwin with 1.3 overs, because there was nothing there for the bowlers. I mean, Sharjah, next time you go to Sharjah, they might as well stamp on your visa. Bowler, go. Not allowed. I mean, someone might put in your declaration. You know what they say, ask you for your occupation? When you fill in the disembarkation form, they ask you for your occupation. So you're getting off at Sharjah airport and they say, bowler. And he'll just laugh his head off and say, okay, you can go back if you want.
Also, by the way, the Chris Gale's hardware store from across the road, they were in business again today. They were at least been richer by 3 balls.
The IPL gives business opportunities everywhere. There's a second-hand cricket ball store opening there.
But yeah, just finally to summarize what's been a crazy game, if you can, Joy, if you still have a book, Harsha challenged you. I don't think you took that challenge. Harsha, I know it's difficult to be able to do that, but if you just had to sum it up in a couple of sentences, what would it be?
It is that the reason sport is magnificent is that sport throws you such twists and turns, and they're all real, that you really don't know what's coming next. And that is why it is the single greatest force of our times. I mean, look at a game like today. It had everything in it, except something for the bowler. I can understand that. But look at the twist. Look at the skill on display. For a guy who is 8 of 19, can you imagine the state of mind he is in to then come back and hit, 6, 7 sixes after that? It tells you so much about human character. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching Samson bat. I enjoyed watching Mayank Agarwal bat. Oh, brilliant.
Joy, give us your last thought on it. I know you pulled out Jekyll and Hyde was perfect, as well as the Incredible Hulk.
Do you have any opposite of Lemony Snicket? You had a series of unfortunate encounters. Do you have a Snicket Lemony where amazing things happen?
No, but actually I do. What I do have, which I can't find immediately here, is a copy of the Iliad, which is the war between the Trojans and the Greeks. In the sense that there was an Achilles on one side, there was a Hector on one side, there was a Priam on one side, there was a Patroclus on the other side, there was a Paris on one side, there was an Agamemnon. There were so many heroes today. I mean, you start off, you say, Mayank Agarwal was a hero. KL Rahul batted beautifully. Puran finished off well. Then you have Steve Smith, you have Sanju Samson, then Rahul Tewatia comes in, then Jofra Archer. It is just incredible. Puran's fielding. There's so many heroes today. It's an epic. This match is a bona fide epic. It's down there because it has something for everyone. It has many heroes. It has a galaxy of stars out there.
By the way, one last stat. I'm looking down economy rates. Okay, I'm looking down economy rates. I'm looking for the best economy rate today, and the best economy rate award goes to Ravi Bishnoi. 8.5 was the best economy rate in the game.
Unbelievable.
We won't finish this program till the next game starts.
Exactly. Yeah. I keep thinking of the visa officer stamping the guy with the bowler. That's the image that I'm going to leave with, Harsha. Brilliant analogy. But by the way, if only every match could follow such a tough act, well, I'm sure it's not going to be able to, but it has the potential, at least in terms of personnel. The next match coming up, Mumbai against Bengaluru. Wow. That is going to be a star-studded encounter. But the first thing you think of, obviously, we're going to a bigger ground. We're not in Sharjah anymore. It's going to be in Dubai. I think a lot of questions will be asked about that match. But question number 1 I'm going to put to you, gentlemen, is Virat Kohli's state of mind going into the game. Harsha.
He's got to pretend the previous game didn't happen. Just pretend it did not happen and go out and say, look, it's only early days. It's only 1-1. They're 1-1, right? They played 1-1, lost 1. Mumbai Indians have 1-1, lost 1. We're still at the same place on the points table. And they lost 1 game. We lost 1 game. It's still early days. So he's got to be very, very positive. It'll help them if he scores runs. He's just the kind of person who likes to lead from the front, who likes to set an example. Whether it's fitness, whether it's scoring runs, he likes to set an example and say, right, come on, everyone, follow me, let's play. So if he scores runs, I think he'll be in a happier state of mind and he'll be able to lead the team along as well.
A few things have happened off the field, Joy, but I'm sure he'll be able to put that aside.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that, and a very interesting analogy. In 2014, it was a similar situation. Gautam and they were expecting a child, and at that point in time, they were touring, and we were in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, with the Kolkata Knight Riders. And, it is something because, there's so much thought, so much of your mind is at home, so much, and especially the first child, it's something very, very special. So it's not easy at all. But I think very often what happens is that captains or great players have this ability to sort of channelize that and say, okay, I'm going to just play this. I'm going to deal with this through my cricket. And that's what Gautam did. He started off terribly. His mind was all over the place. And then suddenly something seemed to meld and he sort of, then got into rhythm. And some way, great players find everything to channelize. If you look at Michael Jordan as a player, he would get angry. He'd find things to get angry about to channelize. And very, very often, great players find a reason, find something to be able to put inside them and turn that into motivation for them to do well. And Virat has all those, capacities, his capabilities in him. I think he's going to do that. I think Virat will be much more pumped up for this match than, say, Rohit will be.
Fair enough, but let's have a look at the personnel out there and see if there's any necessary changes from the two teams. We'll go to Virat Kohli's squad first at the moment. Obviously, in terms of the foreigners, he's got Aaron Finch, AB de Villiers. My one question mark to you, gentlemen, Josh Philippe, does he get one more opportunity, or can you start thinking of a Moeen Ali already?
On the biggest ground in the tournament. As I said, the whole question of who's going to keep wickets. If they can resolve the question of who's going to keep wickets, then the next point resolves itself, and he's just got to go somewhere and find bowlers, or he's got to tell these bowlers, look, I have faith in you. Come back and deliver. Doesn't matter, but you have to bowl death for me. He needs someone to bowl at the death. From that point of view, Dubai is a far better ground.
Well, Parthiv Patel, I guess, comes in, Joy, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can do all sorts of things. You can take away Josh Phillips, play Parthiv Patel, take out Washington.
But Parthiv comes, Padikkal goes out, right?
Yeah, no. Maybe you can put Parthiv in, and you can just take, say, a Washington Sundar out, put in a Moeen Ali then for Josh, and then turn it around like that. Yeah. And then say, okay, Parthiv is not going to bat because I'm not going to change my batting order just to accommodate Parthiv. Because, I've always believed that that's a fallacy in reasoning, saying that because Parthiv can't bat anywhere else, I need to open with him and break up the rest of my order. I think they have a before if it delivers, and I don't think they should tamper with it too much. I think Moeen Ali coming in, though, and in a ground like Dubai would be useful to them.
And if you have to look at one more change, there's the possibility of Isuru Udana for Dale Steyn.
Honestly, Steyn has not looked the kind of bowler that he used to look, and that's not just about his hairstyle. Normally in the legends of yore, when Samson had long hair, he could do well. When they cut off his hair, he didn't do very well. Maybe it's the opposite for Dale Steyn. Maybe if he chops his hair off and he comes back to the Dale Steyn that we remember, maybe that's when he'll start bowling well instead of looking like a rock star. If he looks a little more like the Dale Steyn we remember. But yeah, right now Dale Steyn is looking a pale shadow of the amazing bowler we remember him maybe.
Maybe two leggies. Get Zampa in and say we'll play with two quicks, or maybe get a Siraj in, and or if Shivam Dube, they can back Shivam Dube to bowl a little bit and look at Zampa maybe. Who knows? Big ground, if it's doing something for two leggies.
I think I'm with Harsha on that one. I'm a huge fan of Zampa's, and I think he just brings something to the field, an X factor. But coming to Mumbai, Harsha, obviously less for Rohit Sharma to think about in terms of personnel, but still they're still looking at 1-1 in terms of sorting that out. Let's have a look at the Mumbai squad. There it is.
Yeah. One issue they need to have, which is their big strength was, we keep talking 5, 6, 7 for Mumbai Indians, but the one who's bowling most in that is actually Pollard and not the Pandya brothers. So if Hardik is not going to bowl, then suddenly the balance is gone. And if Pollard doesn't bowl, there are only 5 bowlers, and Krunal isn't bowling too well. And maybe it's rust. He hasn't started bowling that well again. So they're having to look at Pollard. And so that balance is starting to get affected a little bit because Hardik is not bowling too well. Hardik is not bowling at all, and Krunal is not at his best yet. So that is the one issue they need to manage. But on the other side, 3 fast bowlers bowled beautifully. Bumrah, Pattinson bowled, did everything asked of them. So they're setting it up for the balance 8 overs.
So you're really talking about problems within the 11 and sorting those out as opposed to pulling someone from outside, Joy.
Yeah, I don't think, and if you look at that Bombay lineup, the rest of the lineup, this team practically chooses itself under these circumstances. This is the team to play. The only thing, as again we talk about, is that maybe they don't have as many spinners. With Kunal not bowling that well, Rahul Chahar is the only really legitimate spinner that they're playing with. But that's one of the things that, I think Bombay is that way a very complete side. It's a very set side. And the most important thing for them is that Bumrah is back. The enforcer is back. Because having that legitimate enforcer who's at 4 overs spell that they were missing for the first match. I think they've got that back, and that's important to them. Bumrah is really important to them, and I don't see any changes. And I see, to be honest with you, over the next 13, 14 matches, barring injury, I don't see Mumbai tampering around too much with this side.
Yep. So some people ignore matchups, but it's always nice to put it out there. Two people who play together so often under national colours, Virat Kohli versus Rohit Sharma. Spicy matchup, isn't it, Harsha?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how they see it. I think it could be seen to be spicy from the outside. I don't know if they see it like that. Because eventually Virat and Rohit have done so much together for India. They realize that, it's franchise cricket, so we're on the other side. Unless deep down there is this feeling, look, there is a feeling of one-upmanship. We don't know that. It's very easy to speculate. And since we're a certain kind of channel, we don't exaggerate speculation.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
For me, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I was just
coming someone else.
Yeah. So what I was just saying was that the way Virat looks at a match and the way Virat plays is very different from the way Rohit plays. And I think those two teams reflect that as well. So Rohit's basic job is to get his team relaxed before a game. Okay? Everyone knows their roles, relax, go do your thing, get out, it's a match, finish it off, go back home. And Virat is to pump his guys up. They're very different in the way they seek to sort of make their side perform well. So the interesting thing about it is that in many ways, Rohit's formula is a better formula in the long run, because it's easier to get people to relax and start doing their roles over a long run. Whereas if you're pumping up people, you're not going to be able to successfully pump them up every day. So maybe that's why you'll see, this Bangalore team, there'll be days where they'll dazzle you, and there are days where they'll be flat. And that is the one thing whereas the worst that happens to the Mumbai team is they look sleepy and out of sorts, which is the way they start every season. So they've got so used to it that they're not even bothered about it anymore. First match, they practically say, okay, it's in the name of the other team. We'll just get on from match number 2, we'll start moving.
All right, just to finish off on that comparison, and this is not to extract a headline out of either one of you. It's just a little rapid fire fun to finish with. For either of you, which captain would you have captaining your side? Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma? Harsha?
I put it on Twitter, then the opposite will happen.
He's getting back at us.
And he's got a right to. We've done what we had to.
No, it's okay. I think it depends on, as Joy said, on the composition of your side. If you've got a side that really needs this dynamic, come follow me, full of energy, fire and brimstone kind of leader, then you want Virat. But if you've got a team where it's well settled, everyone knows what they have to do. It's a team that's won 4 titles, largely with the core subsiding. Then I think Rohit is the right person. I just want to know whether Virat is enjoying captaining RCB over the last couple of years. If he's enjoying it, then no question at all.
Joy, in one word?
In one word, I'd go exactly like that. I'd say if
that's
the team...
One word. One word. He didn't allow. He told you one word. He didn't tell me.
Okay, one word, Rohit.
Good. That's what we wanted. All right. and as a reward for that, we need to go straight to our Joy Factor answer. Yeah. Let's remind everyone of the question first.
Actually, yeah. So this is the list starts with England and Yorkshire player, ends with a Bangladesh player. Sachin appears thrice. Rohit Sharma is the last Indian on the list. What is this list about? And the list is, of course, and you might have just seen it, it flashed on your screen. It's dismissed for 99 in a one-day international. And I think it was in 2007, that is between June and November, Sachin managed to get himself dismissed thrice for 99. And the first, of course, on that list is Jeffrey Boycott in 1980. The last is Mishfiqur Rahman. I think it happened in 2018. But fascinating, the other thing is that the big numbers here are 1980, 2018, and 43 seconds, which is the time it took to get the first correct answer.
I'll tell you a very interesting subplot to that, which is that one of our friends, an outstanding producer, had put together a a program on Tendulkar's centuries, right? Or was that in Test match cricket? Every time Tendulkar got into the 90s, you'd get that program ready. I think as he got to the 100 or thereabout, that program would get ready, and Tendulkar got out for 99, 99, 99, 97. He got 5 or 6 90s in a row around then. But if he had got converted those 3, I mean, would you have said Sachin Tendulkar 103 international hundreds? Or would you have said 100 international hundreds? It just got such a lovely ring to it, 100 international hundreds. So maybe some things are meant to be.
Yeah, I actually felt even 99 would have a romance to it. But either way, it's something you all know.
No, then 99 would have been would have made him just a Bradman, 99.9.
Fair enough. Who's our winner, by the way, of our Joy Factor question? 43 seconds was the time that Joy gave. Oh my God, that's why. Let's look away from that. I've got something else to do right now. Really, Rohit? You were supposed to just take a back seat and give everyone a chance. Not push up to the back order when you've not been nominated.
You know what I did? I went out and I put out a sincere request out there to people, because Rohit's a good writer as well. He's looking for work, for freelance work to do. And Rohit, I want to make a confession. I did that not just because I really like what you're doing, but also because I wanted to distract you away from not answering questions in 30 seconds. Obviously, that part of it hasn't worked, but I hope you have some work as well.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for that. Just a reminder, all of you, hashtag Cricbuzz Live is how you answer the questions. Hashtag Ask Cricbuzz Live. Keep your questions coming in. We hope we have more matches like today to discuss. Tomorrow, Mumbai versus Bangalore should be a great game. And of course, a final reminder that on My 11 Circle, you put in your teams, get onto the website, download the app. Very simple. 11 players, captain, vice captain, and you need to beat Dada. It's very easy to do that. Sometimes he can be a little conservative in his choices. But we've had fun choosing.
I can see the headlines in Kolkata. Gautam Bhimani says Dada is easy to beat. I'm in that kind of mood after what you guys said to me.
What have we said to you? I'm still trying to figure out.
No, I'm just in a good mood. I saw a great game. I'm in a good mood.
Oh, you got us worried, actually. Okay, fair enough. I'm a little less worried right now. I was hoping that we could wrap this show before midnight, and I'm glad that we are doing that. Not because of bad overrates, but only because we had a great discussion on a fantastic cricket match.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joy. Thank you, Harsha. We'll see all of you soon, and keep on listening to our fascinating conversations. We'll keep bringing them to you. Tomorrow it's Mumbai against Bengaluru. We'll see you. My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live.